don't force yourself. Because in some cases, if you force yourself, you might hurt yourself. You see? So you need to be gentle with your body. Very gentle with your body. And gradually it will get used to the posture. Okay? So in all these spiritual practices, there should be joy. There should be delight. There should be liking. So don't torture yourself. Torturing yourself is not Buddhist practice. And Buddha did this by himself. He first, at his time, he approached many Indian, the Hindu teachers. He learned so many things from them. And then when he did the practice, actual practice, first he did a very hard practice, like forcing himself, not for a few minutes, 6 years sitting and with minimal of food. And then at certain point he even refused to eat a lot of food, maybe one grain or things like that. And he became almost like a skeleton. And the energy movement, because of lack of food was so strong that very often he felt that his head is splitting into 100 pieces. If you read the history, Okay.
Yeah, funny thing that.
Yeah, then finally what he found was the middle way. The middle way. Not leading a luxurious life, not also leading a life of self-mortification. Okay? So middle way. In thought, in practice, in behavior, it should be the middle way.
Yeah, what is interesting about it is like when I'm not trying to meditate, when I let my mind go, so I don't feel the pain. But only when I'm working on it, it's like, kind of feel sometimes like my body is
That's why I'm saying.
like the monkey mind, as you're
Exactly. That's why I'm saying. One, be gentle with your body. Let it get habituated. It's a particularly physical thing. Then let it get habituated, slow by slow. Okay. But if it is related to the mind, then I'm saying your mind should like doing what you do. See, that's what I was saying.
How do you make it?
Because if you know the purpose,
Yeah.
then you will of course like it. I'm so lucky. I'm a human being. I'm so lucky. As I was saying, I'm not a monkey. I'm a human being. I'm so lucky I can do all these wonderful practices. I can think about love for others, affection for others. You see? In many lives, how many times I'll get such an opportunity? When you think like this, then your mind is filled with peace and happiness.
Working on it.
Huh?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, of course, we are all working on
Yes.
it. Yeah. Yeah. We are all working on it. Yeah. So one has to think, what is the essence of human life? What is the purpose of human life? What are you trying to achieve in this human life? You need to have the bigger picture. Is it just consumption, making money and consuming and throwing it into the toilet? Just that? Or a little more? Then you will find the best way of making one's life meaningful is to create peace and happiness as much as possible in you and in others. And we will all agree the importance of such way of life. So once you have that bigger picture, then you will appreciate what you are doing. So that's the thing. Then also, you will realize that the kind of happiness that you get by just sitting quiet, meditating, the kind of tranquility, happiness that you get from that cannot be compared with any other fleeting pleasure that you get by watching a movie and things like that. By watching a movie, you might get some kind of, superficial pleasure for 3 hours, if you watch for 3 hours. But then after that what? What remains? Nothing much. But if you do this kind of spiritual exercise and practice, then not only you will get some kind of peace and tranquility at that time, but you will also be able to share the effect of that.
Sometimes it feels like, that they're talking about like you're addicted to things, and
that's
like
true.
we are born in a society that you are kind of like addicted to.
Exactly.
To, the TV, the iPhone.
Exactly.
And when you have to maybe it's like the kind of parts of the process that you have to go to get rid of your addictions in a way. No, because when you are in front of TV or something like that, so you can sit like this for hours, and you don't even feel the time passes.
Yeah.
And when you are have to get attached from it, I was just thinking about it. Maybe this is kind of you're cleaning yourself from being addicted to.
Yeah. Sometimes
I don't know.
sometimes I got your point. Sometimes yes, you're right to say this is a kind of addiction. There are so many kinds of addiction. It's not like only drinking, but you can get addicted to so many things. I attended this Mind Lab conference in Dharamsala, I think 2 years back. So the topic was on addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a very famous German scientist who actually lives in Washington, D.C. So in her presentation, she said, the human brain naturally has a capacity to judge and analyze between what is right and what is wrong. So normally, if you don't spoil and ruin your brain, the brain by nature, or the mind by nature, has this capacity to analyze between what is good and what is wrong. But if you get addicted in something, then that addiction, because of this addiction, too much focus on that addiction, the part of the brain which is with addiction, your natural capacity to judge between what is right and wrong, the power of that judgment becomes weak, because the role of that judgment is now taken by that addiction. You see? So the brain keeps on thinking about that. Be it wine or whatever, the brain keeps on thinking about it, you get addicted to it, like smoking or whatever, you see. So because of this strong addiction, your natural capacity to judge between what is right and what is wrong becomes very, very weak, according to her finding. So this is, I think, true. So therefore, it's important to realize certain things as addiction, and then to gradually try to stop it. But what you said, I got it. Sometimes we do think that in the best way of getting rid of this addiction is you just keep on doing this thing. Then after some time you will find, okay, there's not much meaning, you are fed up with it, and then you stop watching television or whatever, you see. There are some people who do that. Now even in the West, there are many people who don't keep television, you see, the things like that. But then that is not a very good solution. Not a very good solution. But sometimes it might take a long, long time before you realize that this is useless. You see? For example, in one of the Buddhist teaching, it says that like attachment or desire, feeding the desire and attachment is like drinking salty water. Drinking salty water. The more you drink, the more you get thirsty. So to say that if I keep on drinking, then it will stop, is not the solution, you see. Just like drinking salty water. But still, what you said has a point, because many a times we realize that, okay, now I have been doing this for a long time, it is of no use, now I stop it. It happens. But in some cases, if you wait that long, it might become a very strong addiction that you will not be able to get rid of it. Some cases it may not be so dangerous, so you can take some time. But in some cases, you get so addicted, like for example, smoking or alcoholism, Before you find the disadvantages of this drinking, so forth, you are consumed by alcohol or smoke. That it's very difficult. It has become part of your life. You are very difficult for you to stop it. It also happens. So one has to judge the situation. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is part of what the conversation that we are talking about. I'm working in education,
Huh.
and we always try to see how come there is so many kids with HDD and all of that. It's hard for them to. So we kind of in our conversations sometimes bring up the subject of all of the, we call it the screen culture. That we're kind of addicted to the screen, and when you don't have the screen, so you can't maintain yourself. As a kids, you always they're looking for
Exactly.
something to stimulate them. So we'll all it's
it's
technology and it's like this. So there's always a debate. What's the right thing to do?
So the main problem, we need to not only think about small things, but we need to see the drawbacks of a kind of invading culture, which comes from technology, science and technology. Okay? Science and technology. Because of science, technology, we call this world modern world. We don't have even a very good idea about what do we mean by modern world or modernization. At least in the true sense of the term, modernization does not have much to do with science and technology. The actual meaning of modernization is when you think about equal right of men and women, when you respect environment, when you respect people in terms of their qualification and education and ability, not in terms of their father or mother, whether they're son of a king or, when you don't think like that. So those ways of thinking are called modern way of thinking. That was the original idea. But gradually people are forgetting that. And now when we think about modernization, people think it has to do with science and technology. And out of science and technology, how many people know about science? The good things that is being found by science, how many people know about these things?
A lot.
What kind of education we have? Not many people, not much.
In the West, a lot.
Even in the West, I don't think much, honestly speaking. I may be wrong, but not much. I've spoken with many people. Not much. But there, not only in the West, but also in the East, what is really visible and what is really impacting their life is technology. Technology is there everywhere. So technology, when you deal with technology, you are dealing with something which doesn't speak. Like for example, when you watch television, it's different that we two are talking. Or when I'm watching a television. When I'm watching a television, it's one-sided information, I just sit there, getting all the information. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I cannot ask question, I cannot react. But when you talk with the person, you react, you respond, you see. So you can talk about good things, bad things, but with technology we can't do this. So we become slave to technology. So that's one problem. But the main source of that problem of technology is business. Marketing. Today we live in a culture where everybody thinks, more or less, I must qualify my word, more or less everybody thinks that if you have money, you can buy everything. We are living in a culture where people have this tendency of selling everything for money and being able to buy everything if you have money. We are living in that culture. So because of this culture, the business people, they are coming up with all kind of ideas to sell the product. The same mobile phone you have today will be different tomorrow. They will tell you that, okay, that one is outdated, that one doesn't have that feature, this one has this feature. Then stupid as we are, we need to think that, okay, I need to buy this one. So you keep on thinking that I need to update the technological equipment that I have. Never updating oneself. You as a person never updated. The same stupid fellow that was there 20 years back or whatever. We don't bother to update ourselves, but we are very fond of updating the technological equipment. You should have the latest mobile phone, latest camera, whatever you have that. So there, when there is a buyer, there will be seller. You see. So therefore, this whole culture of unquestioningly buying everything that comes in the market is wrong. If we want to change it, then we should really know what to buy, what not to buy. We have started buying water, bottled water. Very soon they will sell bottled oxygen. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It will happen, believe me. Because somebody, clever people, they'll say, no, if you don't use this bottled oxygen, the air you are breathing is very bad. It may be partially true, partially they want to sell. Then, gullible as we are, we'll think, oh, I must do, otherwise I'll die. Then you start buying bottled oxygen. You see. And still we think we are clever human beings. As I said yesterday, we don't have free water, free air to breathe, basic needs that human beings used to enjoy freely for so many centuries, but now we are don't have access to free water and free air. You see. So this culture of buying and selling everything, there lies the problem. There lies the problem. And because of this, now everybody is saying, oh, the young people are suffering from attention deficiency. Especially in the more developed countries, they say young people are suffering from attention deficiency. They cannot properly pay attention to things because they are trained in fiddling with everything. Mobile phone, iPhone, whatever, you see. And sometimes you even encourage that by saying, oh, he's very good in multitasking. Multitasking means getting distracted in so many things, not being able to focus in anything. You see? So this culture of, and we are responsible for destroying the globe, the environment. Because if we keep on buying everything that comes in the market, not only you will lose your money, but you will be contributing towards the destruction of the environment, natural resources. So that we need a very strong awakening of what we are doing, what kind of time we are living today. Okay. Yes? No. Ask questions, yeah.
Is one of the purposes of the meditation is to slow the mind according to the way we speak or write? Because they are not accommodate usually.
No. The purpose of
The mind
meditation.
goes with
The
me.
purpose of meditation is to make your mind obedient, to make your mind serviceable. Through training, your mind will become so obedient that if you say, stop, meditate, slow down, focus on this object, it will say, yes, sir. It will stay there, like a mountain. If you say, no, don't stay there, go and meditate on love, yes, sir. Go on, meditate on compassion, yes, sir. So it becomes very serviceable, So that is the purpose. That's the purpose of meditation. Yeah. Any questions? You want some discount? 5 minutes discount? No, I'm joking. Any questions? No? Okay, then we stop here.
The dedication?
Huh? Yeah, please. Yeah.
Page 20. Through the merits of these virtuous actions, I quickly attained the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into the enlightenment state. May the precious body-mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samanta Bharatu realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue, with the dedication praised as the best, by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble necessities. In the land encircled by snow mountains, where the source of all happiness and good, all powerful, generously tending Gyatso, please remain with samsara.
And also repeat this prayer after me. May those with fear be fearless.
May those with fear be fearless.
May those under bondage be freed.
May those under bondage be freed.
May those powerless be empowered.
May those powerless be empowered.
May our hearts join in friendship.
May our hearts join in friendship.
Thank you. Good night. I did not say bad night. Good night.